we doing today?
We are doing an introduction episode so everyone can get to know who we are.
Boom.
Yeah.
I have questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Lay 'em on me.
So, what is your name and or alias?
My name is Sara. I'm not going to say my last name. Privacy reasons. I go by Sara Savage or Lady Linework on Instagram.
How did you come up with Lady Linework?
I came up with that name because I am such a stickler for line work, and my favorite style of tattooing is the line work style. So I'm a lady and I like line work. It's perfect.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a tattoo artist and just an artist in general. I paint, I burn wood, I create things, any medium I try to tackle.
What was your journey getting there?
It was a long journey. I actually was a makeup artist in LA for a long time. And I just wasn't happy in that industry. So I decided to go for what I really wanted to do. And I did an apprenticeship. And then from there, I did a mentorship. And then I've been a working artist for a couple of years now.
Deuces.
2 years now? I feel like it's been longer.
It's been a while, 2 years.
Yeah.
It turned off again.
Okay.
How do you spend your free time? Honest answer.
How do I... I spend my free time when it's just me, usually doing self-maintenance and creating art.
That's not what you told me earlier. Why are these things important to you?
Why is self-maintenance important to me?
Why are these things important to
I'm
you?
all about self-love. You gotta love your body.
Free time.
Yeah, free time.
Me time.
Tattooing is important to me because it's what I always wanted to do my whole life. Even when I was younger, I used to draw on myself and other people, and then when it would wash off, I would get so depressed about it. And I never understood as a child why I cared about it so much, but it was because I wanted to permanently put my artwork on people because it's such a gift. And for someone to want me to put my artwork on them is like, it's huge. They will carry that art piece for the rest of their lives. So it's just like has this deep meaning for me. And the ability that we have to create is so special. I mean, everybody works, but not everybody creates. So if you learn to harness that ability to create, it's so therapeutic. And that's why it means so much to me.
Turned off again.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Where have you lived
I grew up
in your life?
not very many places. I grew up in Chino Hills. I went to school out there. And then I lived in Chino for a period of time.
Chino?
and then I moved to Corona, and I was in Corona for a long time. And yeah, sorry guys, I'm not a fan of Corona. And then from there I went to Claremont, and I found my home here. It's like a small artist community. Everybody's really sweet and close, and so it's the family network that I always dreamed of. So,
what brought you to where you are now?
You
living in Claremont?
Yeah. I was gonna stay in Corona for a long time, but then when we met and you were building a life out here, I thought, fuck it, let's do it. It's changed my life completely, and it was for the better. One of the best choices I ever made. And I haven't made a lot of very good choices, but that one was a good choice.
Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Sarah Savage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Saucy Sarah Savage.
Saucy Sarah Savage. Oh my god. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for these questions?
Yep.
Okay. So, what is your name and or aliases?
My full name.
Don't give your full name.
My full name. It's not a secret. My full name is Dylan Ray.
Dylan Ray.
Just Ray, not Raymond, not Ronaldo. Just Ray. R-A-Y. My cousin's name is Shannon Ray, and hers is R-A-E.
That's cute.
My dad claims he had a best friend growing up named Raymond, so he wanted to name me Ray.
So why does Shannon have Ray?
I don't know. It's a different reason.
So weird. Okay.
Aliases.
Yeah.
Kid Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. How long have you had that name for?
I've had that name for a long time. Growing up in the punk rock scene, we always gave each other funny nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always the person that did ridiculous things. And when I was in bands, I was jumping around naked, kicking people, going crazy, or I was at a house party, jumping over a fire pit, doing something stupid. And one time, someone said, "Damn, that kid is ridiculous." And people just started saying it. Anytime I would do something like, "Man, that's ridiculous. You're ridiculous. That kid's ridiculous." And then my friend Alvin said, "Just put it together," and just kept calling me like Kid Ridiculous. You're Kid Ridiculous. And so it stuck. It's been a long time.
Dope. All right. What do you do for a living?
I have been a licensed barber since, 19 years. And now, currently, I cut hair full time in Claremont at the Statesman, where I own and operate the shop. At one time, I was a director of education for a hair care company, a creative and artistic director. I was a national educator. I worked on TV and film sets, music videos. I've done published work and collection shoots. Anything and everything hair and grooming related, I've done for 20 years.
Would you say you're a master of the trade?
I don't know.
I feel like you are.
I feel we've always said, in order for you to call yourself a master at something in the hair industry, if you're a colorist or you cut long women's hair or short men's hair, you had to be able to be comfortable with any client that walked through the door. In order to call yourself a master barber, a master hairdresser, master colorist, you could say yes to any client with any need. And I feel like I reached that probably at about 10 years in my career.
So you answered my question.
Right.
He is a master, guys.
I'm comfortable with any client that walks through the door. I can give them what they ask for.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what was your journey getting there?
It was funny. So I have a very specific experience becoming a barber. The first time I held a pair of clippers and cut someone's hair, I was a sophomore in high school, and I had a girlfriend that had a Chelsea cut, like a buzz cut with fringe, and I cut her hair. I would buzz her hair with the clippers, that turned into cutting my friend's hair in my grandma's garage after school and on the weekends. By the time I was a senior in high school, I had a full like single chair barber setup in my grandma's garage. But I was going around the corner to another barber shop where I got my hair cut to ask someone how to cut hair. And I asked him for tips and tricks for like a year or two. And then when I was turning 18, he said, "Hey, I'm not going to tell you anything more about cutting hair. You have to go to barber school and get your license." At the time, in the 90s, no one had ever said, "Hey, you can make a living being a barber." And I insulted him by saying, "Thanks, but no thanks. I think I'm going to do something else. It was just a hobby for me." And he was offended and said, "Hey, man, I make a good living. I have a house with a family. I take care of everybody. I've always got cash in my pocket. Maybe it's something that you don't realize it is." And I didn't realize that. So then I left for a little bit, and I worked in like a coffee shop and did a bunch of random stuff, framing for artwork and at a framing store. And I couldn't do other people's work. I couldn't clock in and clock out. I was so unfulfilled and unsatisfied. I called my grandma. I said, "Grandma, if I move home, will you help pay for barber school?" And I worked full time. I worked at Hot Topic, paid my way through barber school, and I got my barber license when I was 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a side question.
Okay.
Because I just thought about this question for myself. How many jobs did you get fired from before you realized that job was your job?
I was never fired. I was never
Oh,
fired.
you're going to make me look bad.
No, I was never fired. But I also didn't have a lot of jobs. I was 20 when I got my license. So from the time I got my first job in high school at 16 at a local liquor store around the corner from the house by the barbershop I used to go to. I worked there for 2 weeks. They wanted me to chase people out of the store that were stealing from the store.
Mm-hmm.
And the neighborhood that the liquor store was in, and the neighborhood I grew up in, it was all gangs. It was all like Mexican gangs. And so these kids I went to school with that were already bullying us and jumping us and beating us up with their crews and gangs were the ones stealing. So I told the owner, I was like, "There's no way I'm chasing." I was like 90 pounds soaking wet. Like I wasn't going to chase these guys out.
Hey, kids, stop it!
So I said no. He didn't fire me, but 2 weeks into it, I was stocking 40s on the top shelf in the liquor store. No joke. On a milk crate.
Yeah.
Standing on my tippy toes, stocking 40s of Old English.
Oh my God.
And St. Ides.
Chino staple.
90s. And one of them slipped, and the whole row came out and crashed on my head, all over me. And I walked out. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Between that and chasing gangsters around and getting beat up, I wasn't gonna do that.
I got fired from every job before being a makeup artist. This is when I realized that I had to run my own show. I cannot work for other people. I have this instinct of taking over and trying to restructure everything so that it's more efficient. In my eyes, more efficient, and nobody enjoys that. So I got fired from every job before being a makeup artist. Sorry to cut in. Go ahead, finish your story.
No, I didn't get fired from a job until I was like 36. I got fired from my last job prior to opening the Statesman.
But it was for the same reason. You were trying to help the person restructure their business so it would be more efficient. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people don't appreciate that at all. I realize that now.
They had asked me to do that. I went to work at that shop with the notion that he wanted me and another friend, Brandon, to help with his new business grow. Mm-hmm. And we did successfully. But he felt like he was losing control, and then fired me.
A lot of people think that they want their business restructured, and then once you actually do it, their ego gets in the way. And
I was 16 years into my career before I got fired for the first time.
That's insane.
And then I just worked for myself.
Well, then that just shows that was for a stupid reason. That wasn't for like a good reason.
Their
Sounds
business has
ego.
never been the same.
Just saying, guys. All right, next question. Where have you lived?
Oh, this isn't the free.
Oh no,
free
I skipped
time?
one. Okay,
Oh.
yeah. How do you spend your free time? Be honest.
What do you mean, be honest? I'll be honest.
Okay.
I only have so many hobbies. Well, my first instinct, if I have time, if I'm not at work or sleeping, is to be outside working in the yard. I will dig something up or plant something or trim something or water something in the yard or do landscaping or build a walkway or move rocks around and get dirty and be outside as much as possible.
If you guys saw our yard, you'd be blown away. He's done some crazy shit to it, and it looks really good.
Thanks, babe.
Yep.
Well, I was fortunate. I spent a couple years living on top of a mountain in the middle of Oregon on a nursery, greenhouse nursery with my father.
Mm-hmm.
So I got good experience.
Well, we figured out that because I like to Hulk smash everything, that I'm the digger. I'm the one that does like the demolishing, and then he handles the plants because every plant that I touch, I kill. It's very depressing.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
I'm the delicate one.
Yeah, you have the soft hands.
Soft touch.
Yep. All right. How are these things important to you?
Well, being in nature or outside, I have to be outside. And I think because of our careers and our jobs, like we can spend 12 to 14 hours inside of a shop and not go outside for hours and hours at a time. I crave being outside. Like I want to be near water or trees or in the mountains or just outside the house. It's super important to me. I think being close to nature and touching it and feeling it and working with it and also nurturing something to grow and create life, and it's just a cycle to be a part of. It's our connection to the world,
Yeah.
to nature.
Where have you lived?
I've lived a lot of places. Born in Pomona, LA County, but lived and grew up the first 10 to 12 years of my life in Chino. I moved to Southern Oregon for a very short time, and was still coming down to live with my grandma in Chino. Then I moved to Eugene, Oregon with my father on top of a mountain, but again spent half the year still in Chino. Went to high school back and forth between Eugene and Chino. When I graduated high school, I moved to Costa Mesa, Newport, to be by the water because I want to be by the ocean. And from there, I moved to Long Beach because everything I thought I wanted in Orange County, I was actually finding in LA. And so I moved from Orange County and Costa Mesa closer and closer to LA. Once I got to Long Beach, I found my people and my tribe, and then I moved to Hollywood and Pasadena. And from there, came back out to Claremont to start a business and plant roots.
Nice.
And be with my tribe.
Am I your tribe?
You are.
What brought you to where you are now?
So, Chino is 12 minutes away, where my mom lives, and family, friends. But once I moved to Long Beach, I kept coming back to Claremont because a bunch of close friends ended up relocating here. So I started hanging out here socially, getting in touch and building relationships with the community and the artists around here, and people who make cocktails and create things. And by the time I moved to Hollywood, I was out here half the time anyways with my kids, coming to Claremont, to the village. I knew if I was going to move back inland, anywhere around Chino, it was going to be Claremont. And so working on the project to open the Statesman, looking for somewhere to live around the neighborhood, it was just, I had to manifest it, and it had to happen. So
I actually thought of a good question.
okay.
How did we meet? What's our backstory?
Do you want to tell it, or do you want me to tell it?
You tell
I
it.
think we have two different versions.
How are ours different?
Okay,
I
here's
feel like it's the same.
here's my version.
Okay, yeah, tell it. Let's hear it.
My version is, we have a mutual friend from Belgium
Hi, Joseph.
named Joseph. And I met Joseph right around the time you did, but I met him, I think, a few weeks before you.
Yeah.
And I met Joseph the same week I met Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
And because they came to shows where my bands were playing.
Yeah.
And so they invited me to hang out with a group of friends. You were married, or with at the time, and eventually married, someone who was in that group of friends. We were casual acquaintances for a long time, married with kids.
Yes.
Separately. And then, let's see, end of 2017, 2018. So that would have been 9 or 10 years since we saw each other.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe 12 years went by.
Yeah.
We didn't see each other. When I left LA to come out here to work, I had to work at a private salon to rent my booth while I was building the Statesman. I had worked there for a while, 6 or 8 months, and I walked into work one day and you were behind the front desk. I didn't recognize you at first. You told me who you were, and I went, "Oh my God!" Ah! And then we worked together for a while, and just started building a friendship.
And what did you call me to other barbers?
Well, then I would have to talk about the scale. I'm not ready for that.
I think people know the scale.
They don't. It's a private scale. But the scale is going to have to be another episode.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Because
We'll go through that.
the scale is a whole nother. It's only a 5 scale. It's a 5 scale.
Are you getting into the scale?
Nope. That's all I'm saying for now. It's a 5 scale instead of it simplifies everything.
Yeah.
So everyone's 10 is different.
Yeah.
My 10 is different than your 10. But on a 5 scale, everyone's 3 is the same.
Yeah.
It's a hard 3 or a soft 3.
Mm-hmm.
A 5 is the person you'd throw it all away for. And you were my work 5.
I'm your only 5.
Now you're my 4.
I can't go down.
Yeah, 4 is significant other. That's how the scale works.
Well, then who took my spot?
You're 3, 4, and 5. You're a hard 3 because you're hot. You're a 4 because you're my significant other. And you're a 5 because I would still throw it all away for you.
Hell yeah. Like it. Good job, babe. Okay, so
what's your version of the story? Is it the same?
it's pretty much the same. I remember that we went to a house party and you were doing a show there or something at your house. Do you remember that?
Oh, at my house.
Yeah.
You guys came to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you performing and I was hearing you talk and stuff and I was just like,
That was probably Eaten Alive in the garage.
yeah, it was in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just thought to myself, I was like, oh my God, this guy is fucking irritating.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention all that. We hated each other.
We hated each other. And I was like, God, something about you it bothers me. I don't know what it is.
I thought you were an arrogant bitch because you knew you were hot.
And you knew you were hot, so it was the same shit.
And we had sexual tension.
Yeah.
For sure.
I hated him.
It's like chasing the girl on the playground in kindergarten.
Yeah, I wanted
and
to
throwing
hit
rocks
you.
at her.
Yeah.
But you really want to just kiss her.
Yeah.
You don't know why.
So I remember seeing you then, and then we went over to your house a couple times, and it was just the same vibe, and then...
We would just talk shit to each other.
Yeah, we would just
the whole time.
say mean shit to each other, and I never wanted to have a conversation with him, and I don't know why. It just was instant like that, and it was tension.
You thought I was full of myself.
Yeah, and I thought you were hot.
Everyone thought I was arrogant, and I really...
And I wasn't either. That's what
wasn't,
everybody thought about me too, and I wasn't either. It's just I was confident, I guess. It got read wrong. I don't know. Anyway, so I applied for all these salons and barber shops, and there was one. Should I do a plug for Lynn? Should we say the company?
Sure.
Yeah. So Brooklyn and Company. Hi Lynn. I love the vibe there, and I was just like, okay, let's work here, let's do it. And so I started working there, and on the first day, you walked in, and I was like, holy shit, what are you even doing here? Because last time I heard about him, he was out in LA somewhere doing something. And,
I hadn't heard about you in 12 years.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know who you were.
Such a dick. Well, I was so going through like the separation and the divorce, and then I was like living in hotels for a period of time. I had for like at least 5, 6, 7 years been completely incognito. Like no one knew where I was, no one knew who I was talking to, no one knew where I was working.
I had been trying to go to live in the mountains.
Yeah.
Off the grid too.
Yeah, I just totally like removed myself, and the only time that I had social interaction was through my alias on social media. So like me as a person, I was just focusing on self-growth. I wasn't focusing on socializing or letting anybody know where I was at.
Or dudes.
No dudes.
Well, you weren't focused on any of that or dudes. You were working on yourself.
Yeah. I'm all about self-love, as I said before.
You haven't said that yet. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so he walked in the first day, and
And what was cool is we were friends.
Yeah.
We just built a friendship.
We built a good relationship.
Before we dated.
I honestly feel like you became like my best friend before you became.
Yeah. We were confidants.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice because there were no expectations.
Yeah.
Like I remember going to work, not thinking anything weird for a long time about our relationship. Just that you were becoming a good friend. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what I like that we built something real, because I'm not the type of person that does one night stands. I'm not the type of person that does random hookups. I'm not the type of person.
Boring.
It's just
Just kidding.
I need something real. I need to know what the fuck your name is and when your birthday is, and like I have requirements. If other people aren't like that, then that's their choice. It's free country. But for me, I oh, we're getting political now. But for me, I need something real to grasp onto, or there's nothing there. My relationships have to go deeper. Like my friendships have to have something real to it, or I won't put time into it. Same with romantic relationships and stuff like that.
So do you think this was a good introductory video? Do you think we crushed what we needed to? I
think so. I'm just a little stiff getting used to this.
Yeah.
But I think they got a good idea of who we are. I think this is a good first impression of the type of people that we are.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching our first episode. We can call it whatever we want.
Yeah. Episode.
Be peaceful and positive, and
Don't be a dick.
don't be a dick.
Bye.